You've identified your risks. You've analyzed their impact and likelihood. Now, it's time to make decisions. This is where you move from knowing what can go wrong to doing something about it. As a security leader, your ability to respond to risk defines the strength of your program. And it's not just about eliminating risk, it's about managing it in a way that supports your organization's mission. Once you've assessed a risk, you need to choose one of 4 primary response strategies. You'll use these like tools in a toolbox, selecting the right one depending on the risk's severity, business impact, and your organization's risk appetite. Sometimes you'll decide to do nothing. That's not laziness, it's strategy. When the cost to mitigate a risk is higher than the potential loss, it makes sense to accept it. You're acknowledging the risk exists, but based on current priorities, you're choosing not to act. This should always be documented and approved by the appropriate stakeholders. For example, you have a non-critical system with a low probability vulnerability that would cost $100K to fix, but might only cause $5K in damage. Accepting that risk makes financial sense. Risk avoidance is when you completely eliminate the risk by not engaging in the activity at all. If the risk is too high and the consequences are unacceptable, your best move is to walk away. For example, you're considering deploying a third-party tool with known security flaws. Rather than trying to secure it, you decide not to use it at all, thus avoiding the risk altogether. When you shift the responsibility of the risk to another party, that's risk transfer. You're not getting rid of the risk, but you're making someone else financially or operationally accountable. For example, you purchase cybersecurity insurance to cover potential losses from data breaches, or you outsource data processing to a vendor with stronger controls and shared liability. Risk mitigation is where you put controls in place to reduce either the likelihood or the impact of a risk. It's the most common response in cybersecurity, and often the most nuanced. You'll use a combination of technical, administrative, and physical controls to reduce risk to an acceptable level. For example, you deploy multi-factor authentication, implement network segmentation, or apply patches to close vulnerabilities. These don't eliminate the threat, but they make it much harder for the threat to succeed. As part of your governance role, you must document your risk response decisions. This includes the risk itself and how it was rated, the chosen response, accept, avoid, transfer, or mitigate, who approved the decision, what controls are in place, if any, when it will be reviewed again. These records not only prove due diligence, they help you stay aligned as your risk landscape changes. Today, cyber risk transfer often includes insurance, but you can't treat it as a silver bullet. Insurance can help recover costs, but it doesn't prevent damage. You still need strong controls and incident response plans in place. Insurers also expect you to maintain certain minimum standards, or your claims may be denied. So, what's your key leadership takeaway? Risk response is where strategy turns into action. You must select the best treatment option based on impact, likelihood, and cost. You can accept, avoid, transfer, or mitigate a risk, each with different implications. Always align your decision with business priorities, risk appetite, and compliance needs. Document your choices. Communicate them clearly. Review them regularly. Tools like cyber insurance can help, but they don't replace core security practices.